you. This is Mayor Shave, and it's Wednesday, May 25th, 2022 at 7:50. And I call the Aberdeen City Council meeting to order. First item is a roll call, please.
Obi,
Here.
Ellis,
Yes.
Francie,
Here.
Gagan,
Here.
Catchman, Lawrence,
Here.
Mackey,
Here.
Morrison,
Here.
Bertini,
Here.
Ross,
Here.
Shaw,
Here.
Taylor,
Here.
Shave.
Here.
Thank you.
Mayor Shave, I move that we excuse Councilmember Koshman.
I second.
Also, it's made and seconded to excuse Councilmember Catchman. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the flag salute. Mr. L. Smith, would you lead us in the flag salute, please?
To the flag of the United States
States of America.
and to the republic for which it
It
stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item is approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
Mayor Shave, I move we approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Thank you. Motion was made, seconded to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is additions or deletions. I would like to add to the agenda for special agenda items, the need to add an appointment or under appointment items to appoint Tara Meredith to the Civil Service Commission.
I second it.
Okay, who made the motion? Did I make the motion? I didn't make the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
To add the, under appointments, to add that item.
Thank you.
Mayor-
Motion. Excuse me.
Pardon me.
Motion was made and seconded to add the appointment of Tara Meredith to the Civil Service Commission to the agenda. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We will do that.
Mayor Shave, Finance Committee would like to pull the second report. Authorizing the Parks Department to replace the gas furnaces.
Okay? Do we need a motion to pull this?
I'll second.
Motion was made, seconded to pull this off of the agenda, this item. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other additions or deletions? Next item then on the agenda, I will move to public comments for agenda items only. And you'll have 3 minutes. Come up to the podium, speak on agenda items.
Steve Haywood, Ward 4. Good to see everybody. I'd like to talk on the lost the gun thing, you know what I want to talk about. I'd like to ask a question, probably won't get answered. I'd like to know the number of injuries or deaths due to open carry in the town of Aberdeen. Second, with all due respect, I don't care what the liberal legislature voted on, it's still unconstitutional. We have the Second Amendment. And a police officer is sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Al Smith, Wishkall Valley. I didn't come here to, I came here to talk on this issue concerning open carry. I don't have enough information at this time, but I'll probably be back. What I would like you to do, Mr. Mayor, is to contact somebody that specializes in audio systems, because when I'm sitting there, all I hear is a vibration, and I'm not really picking up all that's being said from council and people that come up here. If there's any way we can fix this system so we can understand what you folks are doing, that would be super. Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance Committee met this evening, and we talked over a number of the items that are on our report list. But I'd like to go right into the approval of expenditures.
Would you make a motion, please?
I move we approve the expenditures.
Thank you.
I second it.
Motion was made and seconded to approve the expenditures. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, so roll call vote, please.
Motion to approve accounts payable in the total amount of $986,573.26 and payroll in the total amount of $87,833.63. Check numbers 25471 through 25505, 77431 through 77598, and wires 1349 through 1355. Obi?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Francie?
Yes.
Aiken?
Yes.
Lawrence?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
Morrison?
Yes.
Bertini?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Motion approved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
The next item is a report from Finance and the Finance Director recommending that City Council adopt an ordinance to change from an annual budget to a biennial budget beginning with fiscal year 2023 through 2024. I move we adopt this report.
I second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
I don't feel that we're in a situation where we should have a biennial. I think yearly at this point, with the budget that we have, and with the surprises that we have coming, like even the bridge that we discussed, I don't think we're prepared for a 2-year at this time. Maybe in a couple years.
Thank you. Councilmember Ellis?
thank you. If we don't adopt this, then we are out till 2025 to revisit having a 2-year budget. So that's something to consider. We got some good pros and cons from Director Soul over the advantages of having a 2-year budget, a more efficient use of time, and gets directors and council and everybody looking at a longer term horizon rather than just 1 year at a time. However, we do have some challenges with our 1-year budgets, and we will be going out for a city administrator pretty soon. And there's something to be said for working with them to get the budget stuff all pulled together. On the other hand, most city administrators have experience putting together 2-year budgets. And if we lay the groundwork for that to happen, perhaps it helps them to be more efficient in the long run. So a few things for us to think about.
Anyone else? Councilmember Morrison.
I would just note in the agenda documents that we received a lot of the municipalities that had moved to biennial budget actually reverted back to doing an annual budget. So that's just something else to consider. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. All in favor of the report, say aye.
Aye.
I
All opposed?
Nay.
No.
The noes have it. The report failed to pass.
Mayor, I'd like a voice vote. Voice vote, please.
City Clerk, will you give us a roll call vote?
Roll call vote in favor of, what are we at? Finance first report to approve moving to a biennial budget. Obi?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Francie?
Yes.
Gaken?
No.
Lawrence?
No.
Mackey?
Yes.
Morrison?
No.
Garachini?
No.
Ross?
Yes.
Shaw?
No.
Taylor? It failed 5-6, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Finance Committee Chair Ellis, was there anything else?
I think that's it. Well, we had an ordinance, but since we voted down the report, where does that put us with this ordinance?
There will be no ordinance. The report's voted down.
Okay, so then that's it from Finance Committee.
Thank you. Public Works Committee Chair report, Councilmember Shaw.
Thank you, Mayor. Under committee chair report, I'll just share that not on the agenda. We did have our meeting yesterday and discussed a couple of items. One is the roundabout detour that's taking place right now. And they'll continue to fine tune that until they see how traffic behaves and we'll pretty soon we'll all think it's normal and then the detour will be over. And we discussed the Fry Creek Pump Station, which is a very large project that's part of our flood control water management that's going to be coming to us. They've gone out to bids, they're reviewing them and doing some review, and you'll see that project come to us for recommendation and approval in June. And that is a project that has been practically a decade in the making that we're going to actually go do. And it'll be one agenda item that it's going to represent. It's a big deal. So that's, I don't know how to make it a bigger deal. Can we have balloons or something? I don't know, but all those waterlogged West End residents are gonna finally get some relief. So moving on to reports and communications. We have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending that the City Council pass a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign the loan agreement WQC 2022 Aberdeen Public Works 00099 for the Department of Ecology loan for the critical wastewater treatment plant improvements, influence screening and conveyance project, and accept the terms and conditions defined within it. I move we adopt this report.
Seconded.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. The report is adopted.
Report number 2, we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending the City Council pass a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign the loan agreement WQC 2022 Aberdeen Public Works 00116 for the Department of Ecology loan for the pump station improvement project and accept the terms and conditions defined within it. I move we adopt this report.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The report is adopted.
Report number 3 is related to tying in the levy for Grace Harbor. And we have a report from Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending the City Council authorize the mayor to execute Exhibit A to option to lease with the Port of Grace Harbor. I move we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Any discussion? See none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Report number 4 is a report from a Public Works and the Public Works Director recommending setting the date of a public hearing for Wednesday, June 8, 2022, to receive public comment on the proposed transportation improvement plan for the years 2023-2028. This would be our 6-year street improvement plan, and I move we adopt this report.
Second, Ellis.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5, we have a report from Public Works and the Community Development Director recommending the City Council authorize the mayor to sign the contract agreement with Bird Rides Incorporated. I move we adopt this report.
Seconded.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Any discussion? Lots of hands. Councilmember Shaw.
No, that's okay. I'll defer to any other people first.
Councilmember Ellis.
Thank you, Mayor. So I've got a number of concerns about this. I think in some ways it's putting the cart before the horse. Or if you look at the contract, there's an indemnification obligation, but that does not cover the city for what can be termed negligence or willful misconduct for the city's lack of maintenance. And I think we can all think of raised sidewalks, broken concrete in the roads and the sidewalks that could represent a real liability to the city if someone were to be injured. So there's that. I think we need to talk about if we allow scooters in the city, where they should be allowed and when. And so there's a lot of legwork that needs to happen before we go into a contract to allow or allow scooters in the city. I won't be voting for this.
Okay, thank you. Who else had their hand up? Councilmember Shaw.
I know this opportunity came to the city's attention a couple of weeks ago, and I was wondering if I could put the police chief on the spot and see if your department had given any consideration to whether this is
To be frank, no. Our focus has been elsewhere other than bikes coming into the city of Aberdeen. So that's with the various law changes. Obviously, homeless has been a big topic for us, and crime. So again, to be frank, this is not something we have put much thought to.
Mayor Shave, if no one else has any questions, I'd like to amend my motion and refer this report back to Public Works.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you. Motion is made and seconded to, what,
Refer back to Public
oh,
Works.
refer back to Public Works this item. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This item will be referred back to the Public Works Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. Moving on to resolutions. These resolutions both refer back to the reports we adopted with the Department of Ecology. We have a resolution accepting the loan agreement. WQC 2022 Aberdeen Public Works 00099 from the Department of Ecology. I move we approve the resolution.
Seconded.
Motion was made and seconded to approve the resolution. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
This will be resolution 2022-07.
Resolution number 2 is a resolution accepting loan agreement WQC 2022 Aberdeen Public Works 00116 from the Department of Ecology. I move we approve the resolution.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to approve this resolution. Any discussion? Seeing none? Oh,
Mayor Shave, I just want to add, again, here we have 2 other sizable projects that are part of the long-term planning that took place in the Public Works Department that made us eligible for some loans too, so that we can flush with a clear conscience.
Nicest.
nice. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
This will be resolution number 2022-08.
Under ordinances, we have the second reading and public hearing of bill number 2204, an ordinance amending Aberdeen Municipal Code section 2.60.010, changing the residency requirements of park commissioners and amending AMC section 2.60.040 to prohibit locking, obstructing, or blocking access to city park facilities without city authorization. I move we open the public hearing.
Second.
Thank you. Motion was made and seconded to open the public hearing. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The public hearing is now open. Anyone wishing to speak on this issue can come up to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
I don't know too much about what's going on with this concealed carry thing, but I'm gonna state my opinion. We have a constitutional right to keep and bear arms. And the last 4 words in the Second Amendment
This is a
state
different
that they
item.
shall not be infringed.
Point of orders.
This is a different item.
Well, you're open to open public comment, are you not?
No, we
Sorry?
we have public comment on blocking or obstructing city park facilities. That's what we're talking about right now.
Later?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Anyone want to speak to this issue? Okay,
Mayor, seeing no one, I move we close the public hearing.
I second.
motion was made, seconded to close public hearings. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing is closed.
So my memory is not serving me very well. Do we need a motion to pass it to the third, or does it just happen automatically? Because,
Need to adopt the second.
okay, Mayor Shave, I move that we adopt the second reading of ordinance amending 2.60.010 of Aberdeen Municipal Code.
I second.
Okay, motion is made, seconded to adopt the second reading. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's all from Public Works.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee Chair report from Councilmember Ross.
Thank you, Mayor Shea. Public Safety met this evening at 6:30, and I'll start out with the fire department. I do have a report from the fire service specialist, which I'll read those numbers in a bit. And also, Chief Hubbard wanted to give a shout out to the fire service specialist, along with the Aberdeen VIPs and the Aberdeen Police Explorers. They've made a concentrated effort in the month of May to perform home safety inspections and install smoke alarms in the Leisure Manor Trailer Park. This is a highly vulnerable population, and to date, they reached out to 106 residences and installed 42 smoke alarms. And he's very thankful for the Aberdeen Police Department for their help in this, and it was a really successful program. We'll hear a little bit more about that next month. From the fire service specialist, she had a busy April. She did 5 home visits and did 11 visits for smoke alarm installation. And she had 12 public service assists with referrals to include 4 to Olympia Area on Aging. 5 caseworkers were contacted to coordinate patient care. 5 Meals on Wheels referrals were made, and 1 APS referral and 1 CPS referral. So she continues to be busy. And coming up with the help of Twin Star Credit Union, they purchased 62 bicycle helmets for the Grace Harbor Emergency Preparedness Expo, which will be held on July 23rd, in partnership with the Aberdeen Police Department, who will be conducting the bike rodeo, and children will be fitted with a bicycle helmet if they do not have one. So, and he also wanted to remind everybody, or Chief Hubbard, that the city of Aberdeen has been having an increased amount of structure fires in the last couple of months. And please make sure your home is safe inside and outside. So, moving on to the police department. Chief Shoemate already made mention of the agenda item this evening regarding the open carry law. And he did reference RCW 9.41.300, which you can read the law from the legislatures on that. Also, VIP volunteer Ray Winter built various temporary evidence storage lockers for the police department. And Chief Shoemate continues to be appreciative of the VIPs as they serve the police department and community in many different ways. Police Lieutenant CJ Chastain will be retiring on May 31st after serving 33 years with the department. He was hired on June 1st, 1989. We thank Lieutenant Chastain for his service to our city and wish him the best in his retirement. And Memorial Day weekend is upon us. Please have a safe and enjoyable time as we honor those American service members who gave the ultimate sacrifice and died in service to our country. And that's it for public safety this evening.
Thank you. Special agenda items.
We do that?
You're not off the hook yet.
Okay. So, under special agenda items, the first report is a report from Parks Director recommending that the City Council approve the amendment to Aberdeen Municipal Code, Section 2.64.020, regarding the monthly meeting location and time to 6:30 PM at Aberdeen City Hall. I move we adopt this report.
I second it.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The report is adopted.
Okay. Report number 2 is from the Parks Director recommending that the City Council amend AMC Section 12.72 to comply with state law, which allows cities to prohibit the open carry of firearms at gatherings and changes the AMC 12.72 title from festival events to special events. I move we adopt this report.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to adopt this report. Is there any discussion?
I don't see a reason for this. I don't. There's, it says it allows the cities to prohibit open carry, but it doesn't demand. And it is our constitutional right to open carry. I'm not worried about my friends that open carry. I actually prefer to be around them because I know that I'm safe. It's the ones who steal their firearms and bring them and go shoot up places. Those are the people I worry about, not people who open carry and obey the law. So I'm going to vote against this.
Okay, Councilmember Morrison?
Ditto to what Councilwoman Pericini said. I'm going to be voting no on this because I refuse to put my name in the affirmative to something that I view as flagrantly unconstitutional.
Okay. Anyone else?
I do just have one question. Is this something where if it was banned or prohibited, is this where a police officer would be at these gatherings to make up for the fact that no one else is there to protect themselves?
Chief?
Well, I think if my follow-up question to that would be, and the mayor had brought it up to me, perhaps our legal counsel, Francesca, could speak to the word in there. You made mention that, what was the word? Allows the city to do this. And it's my understanding that this, the law that had passed made it illegal for those who had such a permit to open carry within 250 feet of that.
Thank you. Francesca, are you on? Would you like to speak to that?
Yes, that is my understanding. And it's my understanding that our office reviewed the change in the law, and that's the situation.
Okay, thank you. So this is not a situation where, as I'm understanding this, it's a state law, and this just has the city complying with the state laws, put it into our AMC that we're complying with the state law.
That's correct, effective July 1st.
Okay. Councilmember Francie.
All right, I just want to read from our Washington State Constitution. Section 24, right to bear arms. The right of an individual citizen to bear arms in defense of himself or the state shall not be impaired. But nothing in this section shall be construed as authorizing individuals or corporations to organize, maintain, or employ an armed body of men. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Ellis.
Thank you. I would just like to speak from personal experience that I was at Zelasco Park June, I think it was a year or so, a couple years ago, when there was a gathering of a number of people with weapons downtown. And many of those people bearing weapons were truly purposefully intimidating other people. They had their weapons in their faces.
No.
They
Order,
were.
order, please.
I was standing in front of the statue in Zelasco Park, and there were 5 individuals in my face yelling at me with weapons. A peaceful counter demonstration was confronted, and individuals were threatened. There's no place for weapons when people are exercising their freedom of speech. We've just gone through another frightful murder of people, and it's time for us to treat weapons as not a common thing that should be out on the street. And anyway, I want to see what the city comes up with that has more information about this ordinance, and it sounds very welcome to me.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
I was just listening to Councilman Ellis, and I was wondering, listening to all of this from both sides and everything, how many of those people who are criminals walk around with the gun strapped to their side, you know? The people who are there with the right to bear arms are there doing it legally. The people that are shooting up places are the ones that are doing it illegally. You know, if you are sitting there and you are intimidated by somebody who has a gun on their side, I don't know what to say about that. You know, if you're intimidated by that, then you're intimidated by that. But it's their legal right. And when we start to take away the rights of the people, it's not gonna stop there.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to request that this be a roll call vote, please.
Okay.
Stacy.
Go ahead, Stacy.
First Director Stacy Barton. I hope that you all read the ordinance amendment, because there is no mention of the open carry. It's changing the language and the format of the ordinance so that when the change coming through public safety comes, the language lines up with the next proposed ordinance amendment that's coming to you. So hopefully you read the changes and saw that language, there's nothing in there that says you cannot open carry at a demonstration. It's not in this amendment. These changes were triggered by the law that was passed, because there'll be another change in section, 9.02.020. So I just want to clarify that. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, what law are we talking about that was changed? I'd really like to know.
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Point of order?
It was,
Zero sense.
Councilmember Ellis.
Yeah, point of order. This isn't the time for public comment. And I would like a chance to respond to Councilmember Taylor. I normally don't engage in back and forth discussion, but having people with weapons on their bodies, I don't find intimidating. What was intimidating was being harassed by individuals with all kinds of weapons who were in people's faces and just being rude. And so please consider that.
So, Chief Ellis, you mentioned the Washington state law that was changed. Could you repeat that?
Yes, so, and I'll follow up as well and highlight again that, as Director Barnum mentioned, this particular requested change or amendment deals with the process of permits. And as I shared earlier, at the next city council meeting, which I expect legal counsel will be done completing the language for the ordinance, it is to update chapter 9 of our Aberdeen Municipal Code to be in line with state law, which is under RCW 9.41.300. And that all came from the 2021 legislative session. And I'll be frank, there was massive, in my opinion, police reform changes to the law. And while I personally may not necessarily agree with a lot of it, it is, unfortunately, as a law enforcement officer, we are bound by it. And I certainly appreciate those individuals who share thoughts with respect to our Second Amendment rights, and I'm a strong proponent of that. So this, again, this is with respect to the permit process. And individuals can come and get a permit if they want to do exercise their First Amendment right at a particular place. They now have a means to be able to get a permit for this. Again, at the next city council meeting is when we get into the details of what Senate Bill 5038 is about, which again is codified into the revised Code of Washington 941-300.
Thank you, and I apologize for calling you Chief Ellis. Chief, it's because he's gonna retire, and Chief Ellis retired several years ago, so. Phew. Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? This is gonna be a roll call vote, please.
Bobby,
I'm gonna have to say no.
Ellis,
Yes.
Francie,
Yes.
Gaken,
No.
Lawrence,
No.
Mackey,
No.
Morrison,
No.
Pericini,
No.
Ross,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Taylor.
No.
That fails 4-7, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to,
There's an ordinance. This is the first reading of bill number 22-06, an ordinance amending AMC Code Section 2.64.020 relating to Aberdeen Board of Museum and History meetings. I move that we adopt the first reading.
Second.
thank you. Motion was made and seconded to adopt the first reading. Any discussion? Seeing none? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
And then I believe number 2 was non-applicable since the report didn't pass.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll turn the appointment over to you.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the appointment of Tara Meredith to the Aberdeen Civil Service Board. Welcome, Tara, and your family is all here, I see, so good to see everyone. So, is there a motion to approve the,
I move that we appoint Tara Meredith to the Civil Service.
Second.
thank you. Motion was made and seconded to appoint Tara Meredith to the Civil Service Board. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You are our newest Civil Service Board member. Thank you for your service. All right. Next item on the agenda is public comments for any item. Come on up to the podium, 3 minutes.
Like I started to say earlier, we have a federal constitution that states that I have a right to keep and bear arms. That's the last 4 words of the Second Amendment state that it shall not be infringed. And in the state constitution, it says it shall not be impaired. That's a stronger word than the other. I'm getting sick and tired of having my gun rights challenged. If it wasn't for the Second Amendment, none of you would be here today using your First Amendment. And the Second Amendment should have been the first one because it protects the rest. In this country, things are going to hell fast. And I don't know how we're going to turn it around. I've got no use for our governor or our attorney general. This business of gun control, there's over 50,000 gun laws in the states across the country. There's not a one of them that's ever stopped anybody from raising mayhem with a firearm. And a terrible thing happened the other day in Texas. It's unbelievable. I can't understand how anybody 18 years old could have a mind like that. Evidently doesn't have one at all. That was horrific, to say the least. I don't know what else to say, but I'm tired of my gun rights being challenged. I've had guns since I was 5 years old, and I'm going to be 80 next month. And in that 75 years, I've probably had my hands on over 1,000 firearms. 3 years in the military. In high school, I shot on the Aberdeen rifle team for 3 years. We don't even have one anymore. I'm tired of hearing the word gun violence. I've owned, in the last 75 years, probably trading and selling and buying several hundred guns. You know what? None of them have ever been violent. They're well taken care of. They're locked in a vault. They're heated, they're cleaned, and none of them have ever been violent. I could lay a 1911 .45 right here on this podium, locked, loaded, and cocked. It'll lay here for 100 years and turn to rust. It takes one of these to make it violent, and nothing up here. So I think I've said enough. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stephen Arm. Some of you know me. Hi, Chief. Chief, I have a good question. All the people are talking about this issue, and I was just reading the actual state law on it. It doesn't prohibit concealed permits at those, just open carry. So in other words, it's another stupid Olympia law that was written poorly. I know you can't say anything on this, but I think we can all agree with that. What I actually want to come up and talk to you about is when I was listening to this dealing with Bird, I did a little research while I was sitting here. They are not Better Business Bureau accredited. First thing, that always gets my attention. They do not provide docking stations for their cycles, their scooters. And the city of Indianapolis has had to do a cease and desist order to get them to get their stuff out of there. And the city of Milwaukee is currently suing them over issues. So I think you might want to think seriously about having these in our city when you've got large cities that are suing them to get them out. But just an opinion. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
I just wanted to thank the city council for voting for our rights to protect ourselves. We live 2 hours from Portland and 2 hours from Seattle. And my understanding is a couple of years ago when people were downtown, and Jim was one of them. Personally, I'd feel a lot safer with Jim if I was down there because I know I'm gonna be okay. And I think what happened at that school the other day in Texas, if someone had a gun, if someone was there with a gun, he would have been stopped sooner. You know, and it took and I don't even know how that border patrol person found out what was going on there and got there and stopped him. But there are people who will be there to protect you, and the police can't always be there. And so I feel like it needs to be our right to be able to protect ourselves. And we live in a wonderful town, but right in the middle of a lot of mayhem. And my understanding is, a BLM, folks were gonna show up, and some people from Aberdeen showed up there just to make sure that it stayed peaceful, because it doesn't stay peaceful in Portland and Seattle. And we got a lot of empty buildings, and we need all the help we can get. So I think our citizens who are here to, to make sure that things don't go crazy here in Aberdeen. And so just thank you, council, for voting for our safety. And that's my little comment.
Thank you.
April by Third Ward. I was in that event that Ellis was talking about. There were stupid minds and stupid people spreading rumors that Antifa was going to be there that day.
You're not even
And
talking
it
about the
was,
right reality.
you need to be quiet, I'm speaking. Antifa was supposed to be down here that day. It was 35 people from a church, mostly women, that day. I was asked to take pictures and videos. Now, if somebody would like to go on my Facebook page and see the chaos that happened that day, you're more than welcome. I was taking pictures. This little group of 35 people were walking, trying to get away from everybody that was spitting in their faces, chest bumping them, showing their guns and all that kind of stuff. I have a right to bear arms. I have a gun. I know when to carry and when not to carry. I have a rifle in my house. So I believe in gun rights. When I was watching, videotaping, and taking pictures that day, and that's all I was doing, I wasn't part of the demonstration. I was asked to take pictures. I had a guy come up to me, stick a gun to my head, and said, all I have to do is shoot.
Give me a break.
I'm on the phone with
Order.
911. The 911 operator heard it and said, April, are you okay? April, are you okay? So when you get stupid people that don't listen to other people's organizations or whatnot, because Mayor, council members, Chief Shoemate, you know the chaos that happened that day firsthand. And it got way out of control. 35 some people from a church against 400 or 500 people with guns, machetes, rifles, dogs that they wanted to have attack on command. Go look at the videos.
30 seconds.
The videos speak for themselves. We have trust, not lies behind us.
Okay. Anyone else? Go ahead.
So I'm gonna change gears a little bit here. I'm gonna talk about something else. So I'm here to protest a halfway house or two coming into my neighborhood. I saw a bunch of people working on 1504 Cherry Street, working on this property without a permit. I was told that it was gonna be a halfway house for prisoners, a recovery house, and a clean and sober house. They can't make up their mind. I'm trying to make this as quick as I can in 3 minutes. I also witnessed one of the workers there do a donut in the street. They were playing loud music. If that's who he's gonna have working there and the owner there, I can only imagine what it's gonna be once they move in. I was also told that he's gonna hand out cards and we're gonna be the ones that are gonna be policing them. There is not gonna be a house supervisor. So basically, hey, Joe Schmo's coming in late, or they're bringing people over, they're getting in trouble, and he's gonna call them, we're gonna call them, and he's gonna kick them out within 24 hours. I don't think that's right, because that puts us in jeopardy in the neighborhood. Because now these fellas are kicked out without a house, and now he's gonna take it on the neighborhood. Let's see here. The owner is Howard Vaughn. He's the one that put out the permit. I looked him up. He also owns Chase Recovery Foundation. You look it up, he's in Tacoma, he's out of Tacoma. I have reviews from Google and transitionalhouse.org. They're not very good. He basically is there for money. He doesn't supervise anybody at all. I've lived there for over 20 years, and I have some people here with me that has lived in just as amount of time. I did contact a council member in my ward. Felt like I'm not getting anywhere. It just felt like just brushing stuff up under the rug. You know, I'll contact legal and see what we can do. I found out there are 6 halfway houses within a 6-block radius of my residence. 4 of them that I know of, I'm still trying to find out where the other 2 are located. If you wanted them, I'll tell you where they are. Contacted DOC, the field supervisor. She was very concerned that there's a lot of felons in a concentrated area, especially not including the 2 that they're trying to, 1 or 2 that they're trying to put in. I didn't mention that. 1504 and 1420, they're looking at 1420 and converting that one over too.
30 seconds.
We need to have an ordinance in place that does not allow this to happen, especially when Stacy says that we're gonna do a parking thing down at Finch Park for the kids. You're gonna have this place 2 blocks away from a church, away from the park. All I was told is just call the police department. I did. It took them a half hour to respond. The guy was passed out right in front of the house. You know, and all they did was he had 2 misdemeanor warrants, they just shoot him away. So in the time I see like 2 officers in a month that patrol my area.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Come on up.
Yes, my name is Roy Pauley, lifelong Aberdeen resident, and Wichita High School graduate. I just have a question. Coming into Aberdeen, it looks like Detroit or Chicago. Are we gonna become the homeless center for Washington State? That's it, that's all I got.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the council comment period. Anyone from the council? Quiet tonight, seeing none. Oh, Councilmember Ellis.
Thank you, Mayor. So in the news tonight, there was an article about COVID faster spreading subvariant makes up 58% of cases nationwide. And approaching Memorial Day weekend, there's over 100,000 new confirmed cases per day for the first time since February. As much as we'd like to return to normal, we're not out of the woods yet. And a family, an entire family I know in town is sick with COVID. And I bring this up because in early June, we are all hoping and expected to be in council chambers unless we're sick or traveling. And I want to make sure that our safety, our health and safety is protected as well as that of staff. Because when people get sick, that's that represents a loss of a lot of productive time and money. And it's, to me, it's a good investment of funds for the city to purchase 4 HEPA filters. And that cost is $1,000 plus tax. We could have those throughout council chambers running. Council has a discretionary budget set aside of $5,000, and I would propose that we use that to pay for these. They're portable That means that when council isn't in session, if there's another meeting or gathering in a room, in a building that the city owns, where there isn't great ventilation, these could be used. And we know the ventilation in City Hall has some definite concerns that were called out during by the contractors who put together the capital facilities plan. So I would like to make a motion that council approve the expenditure of $1,000 plus tax to be paid for out of Fund 004.
I seconded.
Thank you. Motion was made and seconded to purchase 4 air purifiers out of the council project fund. Is there any discussion?
I have.
Go ahead.
Are these things silent? Because we already have an audio issues. The last thing we need is a compressor going in here.
Yeah. Any other comments? Go ahead.
They're not loud. The unit Director Barnum shared with me at the, via email is they're used in school classrooms. And I have one in my office. And sometimes we won't know till we try. Maybe we don't want them all 4 running on high, but we are exchanging a lot of air in here, and it's one of those can't hurt kinds of things that schools are doing it. When you got 30 kids in a classroom, it kind of keeps the air a little fresher.
All right, I just, when I hear purple HVAC,
They're not-
I think loud.
They're not
so that's-
silent, but they're not
but they're not
loud.
Okay, anyone else? Oh, Councilmember Ellis.
Thank you. I'd just like to point out that you go into a medical dental office and masks are still required in those facilities. And I'm of the opinion that as long as they're wearing masks, then I want to be wearing a mask at work too. But even then, to have these air filters will just keep us all healthier, whether it's the flu bug going around or the common cold. I think it would be a good investment for us, and that we base this decision on science and not just personal opinion that the air is fresh or not fresh. Let's take steps to take care of our health. Thank you.
Is it too late for public comment?
Yeah, somebody needs to comment on this crap.
Okay, anything else? Anyone else on the council? Seeing none, a motion was made and seconded to approve the purchase of these air purifiers using the council project funds. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hey.
The ayes have it. Sweet. So we'll move forward with that.
Nobody
Anything?
else? I said nobody else? Are we ready to adjourn?
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Thank you. Just a reminder that we refer to report back to Public Works. Any council members who have questions about the proposal on the electric scooters should just send me your questions, and I'll make sure we can talk about it in committee. And I also, we have a kind of a mixed agenda tonight. There's some things that we had a heads up about and some things that kind of just showed up that were pretty important kinds of votes. And I just wanted to share that I really appreciate when staff shares in advance before it's on the agenda that they're working with legal on an ordinance that might be changed, and just so we can have time to process our thoughts before Friday afternoon when we're gonna be asked to vote on Wednesday, because it's not always possible when you're working to, you know, process, and you don't know till you hear the report what your questions might be sometimes. So I just want to thank everybody who shared stuff that's gonna be coming to us, because I'll be able to be a little more prepared.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? I have one quick thing I just wanted to point out, and Francesca, you could help me if you feel the need, but council, I believe, can put a moratorium on like halfway houses or Suboxone clinics, these types of things in our community or associated by schools or like our downtown general area has like 6 Suboxone clinics now. And if the council wanted to moratorium that, they could do that.
I would love that.
That's my understanding.
Without having looked that up myself, I don't want to commit to that, but it does sound like something that could be done. That's definitely something we could look into for you if you'd like.
I've requested a meeting for next week.
Okay.
With the director, Scott, and code enforcement, and maybe you should be part of that too, because I didn't know, I was trying to figure out what our limitations might be, so.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are working on it.
All right. Thank you, Francesca. And that's nothing for anybody else?
I move we adjourn.
Second it.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. If there's no opposition, I will adjourn this meeting.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.